hate feeling replaceable. And what was crazy was that on America's Got Talent,
I remember. Yeah.
it got morbid real fast.
Yeah.
First went to Rapture, then I went to say winning AGT was so great, but it was also one of the most traumatic things that's ever happened to me because my biggest insecurity has to do with my appearance. My biggest insecurity has to do with my appearance. In 3, 2, 1, vote. Ooh. False is the answer.
Dang.
Carrie's
crushing it.
back in the game.
Rude.
She's been back in the game.
Okay, bonus.
Ooh.
Wife and wife number 2.
Duo.
What is my biggest insecurity?
Feeling small and insignificant. Yeah, like you don't matter, or like, yeah.
That's good.
Laser?
You feel like you don't matter when people don't listen to you.
That was good.
Or like taken serious.
Yeah.
Or like,
Look pretty good. Yeah, I think my biggest insecurity is feeling like unimportant. Yeah, feeling not taking serious,
Yeah.
feeling
not special.
yeah, feeling not special. I think feeling like replaceable. And it's fine because I think we're all at the end of the day, like one day we'll die, people will be sad for a minute, and then the world's just gonna continue to go on, which is like a sad reality.
Yep.
But it's
we all go at the same time.
true. Then it's gonna be awesome. It's like a school bus to heaven.
Yes.
But wait, did you mean
magic
like
school
rapture?
bus.
Did you mean like we all die at once? Because in my head I was
No,
I was
Rapture.
picturing Rapture.
I was picturing rapture.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's just a big
Like that all together.
explosion. Like,
Because remember we were playing that game before and someone drew a squirrel. It was like squirrel dancing on a bus.
Oh,
But someone
yeah.
thought it was like a school bus full of
I
people.
remember. Yeah.
It got morbid real
yeah,
fast.
Yeah, that was a good.
So my head
drawing.
first went to rapture, then I went to just not good. Yes. Okay. Cool. So rapture. School bus to heaven. Okay.
Yeah. So those bonus points. So do they get
Those,
the
those, those like a half. That's kind of true.
Or
Can
should
we
I
do
not
a
count
half?
it?
Can we do a 0.5?
0.5? That's gonna be a little weird.
Ow.
No, let's just not. Let's just not count
Carrie's
it.
answer was more thorough.
Even though Carrie's destroying anyway, so it doesn't matter.
No,
Yeah.
he can get a half point.
It's gotta be a full point. I feel like.
Well, then I'll give me 2 and then him 1.
We'll do a point for each of them. We'll be nice. But, you know, I don't know, honestly, I don't know like where that came from. I think a lot of it doesn't help being in the entertainment space. What's crazy is this was a thing I've dealt with a lot of my life is feeling like, I don't know, like it hits me so hard. Like and maybe that's for a lot of people, but I hate feeling replaceable. And what was crazy was that on America's Got Talent, I think the most difficult thing, even though I won, like I always say winning AGT was so great, but it was also one of the most traumatic things that's ever happened to me because of this insecurity. And those like results nights where you all go up on stage and it's crazy because it is literally a show based around voting on who people like more, right? Like it's everything that high school feels like in your head, but it's like you're actually doing that. Like people actually vote for you and then they're like, see, people don't like you as much, right? And it's weird. And then the problem is, it's not even so much the not being liked and the rejection part. There's actually a really good book that Carrie had me read, which helped a lot, called Dealing with the Praise and Rejection of Man. Because it's like if you care about people's rejection, then that means that you also care about their praise, right? So when your identity is in people's rejection, your identity is also in the accolades that they give you. So the problem then after winning AGT was feeling like, oh, maybe people do like me. And then all of a sudden the next season comes around and there's another winner. And then there's another magician that people like, even though he didn't even win America's Got Talent. And you're putting your identity in this thing that should have defined you in a good way. And it's still not where identity comes from. And
yeah,
so
it's saying you should reject praise and rejection.
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't take anyone's praise or their rejection.
Yeah.
You're just doing it really out of obedience to whatever God.
Yeah.
tells you to do.
And I'm so thankful. This is why I'm so thankful that my wife reads, because I'm really bad at reading. So she'll like read through books, and then when there's one that she's like, okay, Dustin needs to read this, then she'll tell me.
No, but I don't remember anything, so I have to just read things out loud to him because he remembers it.
Yeah.
I'm bad at like relaying what I just learned.
And she was like reading parts of that book to me, and I'm like, okay, I can take a hint. I need to read this. And so she was reading parts of that book to me, and then I did decide to read it. And it was really, really good. And it's not like encouragement's bad, right? I think we all need encouragement. But it's more of like when you put your identity in needing to be told all the time you're doing a good job. And
It's enslaving.
biggest insecurity. Put them on the spot right now. Go.
Dude, same as yours. Because I feel like most of my life I was the one like I wasn't the perfect child.
Yeah.
Like it's me and my sister was a smart one. Like she got the 4.0 or higher. Like she was an AP, she was an honor, like all of that. And I'm over here struggling, like getting through
Yeah.
life and harder. Not really harder to make friends, but that kind of put me in a position to where I had to go in the wrong crowd.
Yeah.
And then like in that moment in time in my headspace, like I felt important, but then that just like washed away. So,
Yeah.
and then like with my parents too, like I was very, like distant from my parents because I
Yeah.
felt like I wasn't important. Like I feel like me going up to them or just anyone in general, I just felt like I'm a ghost. Like I'm
Yeah.
not there in their eyes.
Dang.
And so I just that's a huge
Like
part.
invisible. They
Yeah,
didn't
just
see you.
invisible. Like
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
not important like
Yeah.
at all.
I think that's one of the hardest things with being in a place of being the favorite, right? Because you see this in a lot of kids who are like,
Yeah.
no parents is ever going to say this is my favorite kid, but I think it becomes
yeah.
evident when there's a
But
a kid who is favored.
Sure.
And I think that becomes a problem because you don't even realize it. Your identity starts getting placed in being a favorite, even too. And then you get into a space where you're at your workplace and you're just not the favorite there, or
Yeah.
you're in a relationship and you're not treated super
Or,
important.
like you can be doing so good, like so amazing, so good at one thing, and maybe you
Yep.
mess up on something so small, and then you get judged off that small little thing that happened.
Yeah.
And then they look at that and they're like, oh, you're not important to me anymore. Like your innocence gets worse and worse. I'm not saying like
Right.
my parents love me to death, to love
Yeah, yeah.
like, both of us
Sure.
equally. It's just in my eyes, it's like there's my eyes is perfection, and then there's me. Like she's up
Yeah.
here, I'm down here.
Yeah.
You know, and it's hard for me to look at that like that scale. I'm like,
Yeah.
I wish I could be up here, but like I'm not.
Yeah,
And but like I just gotta get there somehow. But it just takes me longer to
yeah,
understand how to get there.
yeah.
It would just
Or even understanding that maybe you don't need
Yeah.
to get there, right? Like,
No.
because sometimes that standard that you create in your mind is actually one coming from your perception of
Yeah.
what they think of you, and then wanting to measure up to that. And I think
Yeah.
that's one of the big things too, is when you're looking at your life through the
Yeah.
lens of how you feel other people view you, it just gets messy, man. Because
Yeah.
I mean, dude, and I say this all the time, but like some days I'm like, my wife loves me, right? And then other days I wake up and I'm like, she does not. And it's not because she's changed anything. It's just because of like how I am informing myself of my worth, how I'm allowing her attitude or her flaws to
Yeah.
inform me of my worth. And I think when I put that expectation on her then to have to make me feel important, this is one of the hardest things as parents, right? Is like,
Yeah.
I'd say probably one of our biggest struggles is there are times when your kids just don't make you feel appreciated. And then you start trying to do things to get out of them, like the fact that you matter to them. And then
Yeah.
and then you start realizing you're putting all this pressure on them to make you feel valuable.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's not fair to the boys, right? And
Right.
we both do this.
Yeah.
And I think this is why it's so important. And this is why, again, just even going back to the question about like the Bible app versus the Bible.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, it's just the Bible in general. That's great. It's why I love having the Bible app on my phone. In any of these moments to just dive in. I know we've done a Devo before
Yeah.
where we were both just like going through the Devo together.
Yep.
And it's just great because you build that accountability. Like you pick a devotion on identity or on security or on value or worth.
Yeah.
And I think to do that with people, again, it's so important. And there's a lot of times where people aren't letting others into their struggle. And I think that's such a fail for us because
Yeah.
like when we can let people in on the things that we're struggling with, it's the only way we're going to find victory. It's the only way we're going to find encouragement. And I hate that sometimes, as humans, we just feel so scared to do that. And that actually ends up being the thing
Yeah.
that stops us from finding victory.
Yeah.
And so, I'm grateful for the people in my life who have showed me what it looks like to be vulnerable.